Okay, today, right now, we're going to talk about democracy because the whole world is, preaching democracy. What is democracy? Some people think democracy is voting, then that's democracy. Well, as far as I'm concerned, democracy is not about voting. Voting is a choice. Somebody you want to vote for, somebody you think will benefit you, somebody you think will help your community, will help the country, will create jobs. That why we vote for people. That's a choice. But what is democracy actually? Because when I define democracy, democracy in my own way and my own understanding is democracy, demon. That means demonize your people. Put your people into poverty. Put your people into hardship. Don't create job. Make them to suffer. No housing. Let them live on food stamp. And remember, that's democracy you people preach. If you have a car, you need a driver license. If you have a car, you need a license plate for your car. The police can pull you over anytime, any minute, any second. But that's the democracy. For me, I believe democracy is to demoralize the people, put them into poverty, suffer them, make them to understand they got no choice, they got no right. The government decide on what they want for the public, the community, and for the entire country. That's the way I understand democracy, because if we talk about democracy, human right, freedom of movement, the 21st century, we're still talking about visa. People need visa to go to this country. People need visa to go to that country. But we still preach democracy, human rights, freedom of movement. Where all these things coming from? It's all fantasy, just lie. Because if we preach democracy, nobody should be obligated to have a driver license, to pay taxes, to put license plates on their car, and to be subject to the law and to order. Because if you look at all the president, the governor, the governments, the senators, okay, now for an example, let us look at somebody like a president, stole or embezzle millions of dollars. Nothing happened. But that's the democracy they preach. So if we go around democracy, what democracy actually is for the people, because the people don't even understand what is democracy. Everybody just flow with democracy. For me, I hate democracy because democracy bring war, bring suffering, bring kills, bring lot of destruction to us. But they still preach democracy. Well, I'm not going with democracy. I would go for the people and the people. Because human rights don't exist. Because if we have human rights in Palestine today, there will be no war. In Palestine, in Congo, look at Congo for an example. Congo has been in war forever. But we the same people preach democracy, human rights, freedom of movement. But there is rebel, the same so-called people that call themselves government, the West and whatever they call, they support all these negative attitude across the world. Want to change government, want to put puppets in, they see that they preach democracy. People, now look at United States, For an example, they say, U.S. is one of the richest countries in the world, but how many people live on the street? Homeless people. The money they should be putting into housing, they're sending it for war to kill other people because we hate one another so much. So people, democracy for me, I don't believe in democracy. Because now the richest continent is the poorest, but they take democracy there and they preach it. Okay? And they create war problems, you see, in Africa. Africa is the richest continent on the face of the planet and the globe. But today they say, Africans, and Africa is very poor. When the very people that preach democracy, human rights, and freedom of movement create the same poverty and call it democracy. Democracy is poverty, people. Open your eyes, open your ears. Democracy is poverty, is war, it's nihilism, a hatred. Democracy don't exist. We should fight against this democracy. These people preach. I don't believe in democracy. Human rights don't exist. In fact, United Nations need to be dissolved. We should have no United Nations because United Nations doesn't have a say. When UN say it, and that's what everybody call by. How a whole organization they call United Nations can't even go against United States. In Congo there is war. In Palestine there is war. In Sudan there is war. In Somalia there is war. You see, who caused all this war? This war they call democracy. Bring all these problems. So people, we need to get away from democracy, far from this democracy, because this democracy is bringing problems. And democracy is going to destroy us, believe me or not.